Jnanakosha, Puranas, Introduction.
सर्गच्च प्रतिसर्गच्च वंशो मन्वन्तराणि च वंशानुचरितं चैव पुराणं पञ्चलक्षणम्.
Brahmanada Purana, Matanga Kanyaka Charitra. In the olden days, a sage named Matanga used to expand the creation by virtue of the power of his penance. His son Matanga was a great saint and practitioner of penance. He was the friend of Himavanta. Once Himavanta started boasting, saying that he was the father of Gauri Devi. With that, Matanga felt humiliated and started great penance for Matruni Devi. Matruni Devi is none other than Matruni Devi, who had received a ring from Lalita Devi. She is also called Shyamala Devi. She was very happy with his penance and gave boon that she herself would be born as a daughter to him. A few days later, Shyamala Devi appeared in the dream of Siddhamati Devi, consort of Matanga. Shyamala Devi gave her a flower from the bunch decorating the farmer's ear. Very soon she had a female child who was named Lagushyama, as she was born in a very short duration. She was also called Matangi, Matanga Kanyaka. With her power, she generated crores of virgins who stay near Matrini Devi's house and keep singing her praises all the time. The compounds are precious stones. Inside the golden compound, there are 11 prakaras, one inside the other, and inside them there are 6 more compounds describing hereunder. All these compounds are perfect squares. Here also the distance between one compound and other is 7 yojanas. Pushyaraga Prakara, the compound of top edge. The area between the golden compound and this one is called Pushyaraga area. Here male and female Siddhas reside. Those who were born earlier in the race of Siddha and who obtained attainment Siddhi in their spiritual practices, worshipping the Divine Mother, stay here as Siddhas and gladly continue to worship her. Padmaraga Prakara, compound of ruby. Here celestials of species called Karanas reside. Those who were born in Karana world and worshipped the Mother are reborn here after attaining her grace. Gomedhika Prakara, the compound of Agate. In this arena Kala Sankara Shani Devi resides. She is worshipped by the Yoginis and Bhairavas. Vajra Prakara, the compound of diamonds, Apsaras and Gandharvas, divine dancers and singers stay in this area. They are ever engaged in the japa of the Divine Mother's names and stay here happily. The river Vajranandi flows in this place. The goddess Vajra Ishwari stays here. When the demon Bandha swallowed the diamond weapon Vajra Ayudha of Indra, he could get back his weapon by worshipping the mother here. Vaidurya Prakara, the compound of cat's eye. Those of the nether world who attained spiritual achievements by worshipping the mother stay in this arena. The Emperor Bali who resides here. Indra Neela Prakara, the compound of sapphire. Those people who were born on the earth stay in this area enjoying pleasure after their worship of Lalita during their lifetime there. Soon after the effect of their punya is exhausted, they will be born again as human beings on the earth. By the effect of their previous pious deeds, they again worship the mother and return once more to this pious place. Due to the blue color of these precious stones, the dark effect of likes and dislikes persists in them. Hence they are born again and again. Those who can control their senses to merge in the ultimate state of salvation in the Divine Mother, they do not have rebirth. Mukta Prakara, the compound of pearls. Several rivers named Tamraparni, Mahaparni, Shadhamukta, Shadodaka flow in this area. The celestials who worshipped the mother and chanted her mantras stay here. The cities of the rulers of the 8 sides exist here. Marakata Prakara, the abode of the goddess Dhandhanada, also called Varahi, exists in this area. There is a garden of golden palm trees here. The goddess Anmatta Bhairavi, Swapneshwari, Tirakashrini Devi, Kirpa the Devi reside in this area. When goddess Dandanatha is on duty, she stays in a separate palace in the forest of Mahapadma. Virdhama Prakara, the compound of coral. In this area, Brahma, along with sages like Maricha, stays and worships in Divine Mother. Manikya Prakara, the compound of gem. This area is also called the Hall of Gems. Manikya Mandapa, her Vishnu worships the Mother. Navaratna Prakara, the compound of 9 precious stones. In this area exists a huge hall with thousands of pillars. Here Shiva, along with his attendants, constantly supervises the activities being done as per the orders of Lalita Devi. Manomaya Prakara, the compound of mind. The entire area is a big well of Amrita. The goddess Tara resides here. Along with her attendants, she rows a big boat and takes her devotees inside along with her. Buddhi Prakara, the compound of intellect. The entire area is a big well of bliss. The captain of the ship is this arena in the goddess Varuni. She is also called as Suddha Malini and Amrita Eshwari. Ahankara Prakara, the compound of egoism. The entire area is a big well of criticism and nectar. The water of this well is nothing else than the nectar in the nerve Sushumna. The captain of the ship in this area is the goddess Kurukula. Suryambhiyat Prakara, the compound of the sun. Here brilliance comparable to the light of the rising sun exists always. Plenty of flowers called Kuruvinda are abundant here. The sun performed penance here and obtained brilliance. Martanda Bhairava stays here. He has a very luminous form. His 3 wives are Mahapraksha Shakti, Chakshusmati Shakti and Chayada Shakti, the powers of great brilliance, eyesight and shade. Chandrabimba Prakara, the compound of the moon. Moonshines ever exist here. The moon performed penance here and attained illumination. Somanada, the lord of the stars, is the chief deity of this area. Shrungagara Prakara, the compound of erotism. This area is full of waters of erotism. Here Manmadha, Cupid, the god of love, does japa of the mother's sacred names, rowing in a boat. Only those who are of pure mind by nature can cross this area. Chintamani Gruha, the abode of gems. This is the great palace of Sri Chakra. It is called Mahapadmavati also. Around the mansion, hundreds of thousands of lotuses like palaces exist. To the east of this place, there is a large vessel with a diameter of 1 yojana. This is called Agrahaya Patra, the vessel used to wash hands. At the southeast corner exists Siddhagni Kunda, the fire pit of knowledge. At the southwest exists Sri Chakra Ratha, the vehicle of Sri Chakra. At the northwest exists the Gaya Chakra Ratha of the goddess Mantrini. At the northeast exists the Kiri Chakra Ratha of the goddess Dandini. In between the east and southeast exists Mantrini Gruha, the abode of the goddess Mantrini. In between the east and the northeast exists Dandini Gruha, the abode of the goddess Dandini. The description of the palace of Chintamani. This palace is centrally located Sri Patana, the city of Sri wealth. The walls of the palace are built with Chintamani gems. The roof also is made of the same stones of Chintamani. The palace has 3 towers by names Ichha Shri Chakra, Kriya Shri Chakra and Jnana Shri Hara. The towers of desire, action and knowledge. The palace has 4 doors. They are called Amanya Devas. They are Purva, Dakshina, Paschima and Uttara Amanaya Devas on the east, south, west and north side. Amanya means Veda. Bindu Pitha, central seat of power, is centrally located in the palace. This seat of power, Pitha, has steps on 4 sides. The entire structure described above is of the design of Sri Chakra. All the male and female deities of Sri Chakra reside here. The Bindu Pitha is called Sri Pitha, Mahapitha, Vidya Pitha and Ananda Pitha also, the seat of prosperity, greatness, knowledge and bliss. On the pedestal exists the cot of the 5 Brahmas. The cot has 4 legs, namely Brahma, Vishnu, Mahasena and Ishvara. These 4 deities have attained female form by worshipping Mother. The plank resting on these legs is Sadashiva. To the east of this cot there are 36 steps representing the 36 aspects of spiritualism. There is a footrest in front of the cot. There is swan-like bed on the cot. On the cot there are 2 pillows for the head and 1 pillow for the legs. A light red blanket is spread on the bed. The Lord Kameshwara sits on the cot facing the east. He is ever in the form of a 16-year-old boy. He has 4 hands and 3 eyes. He wears erotic costumes. On his lap sits Lalita Devi. She is ever in the form of a 16-year-old girl. Her complexion is rosy. She wears erotic costumes. She has 4 hands. Her decoration is the moon. As she pleases Sadashiva, she is called Lalita, Lalana, to please. Shiva Kameshwari Kantha, Shiva and the mother. The mother incarnated to kill the demon Bhanda. She is the supreme mother as per these divine names, will achieve everything auspicious. Moksha Ada Ekadasi. Moksha Ada Ekadasi, Yudhishthira Maharaja said, O Vishnu, master of all, O delight of the 3 worlds, O Lord of the entire universe, O creator of the world, O oldest personality, O best of all beings, I offer my most respectful obeisance unto you. O Lord of Lords, for the benefit of all living entities, kindly answer some questions that I have. What is the name of the Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Margashira, November-December, and removes all sins? How does one observe it properly? And which deity is worshipped on that holiest of days? O my Lord, please explain this to me in full. Lord Sri Krishna replied, O dear Yudhishthira, your inquiry is very auspicious in itself and will bring you fame. Just as I previously explained to you about the dearest Utpana Maha Dwadasi, which occurs during the dark part of the month of Margashira, which is the day when Ekadasi Devi appeared from my body to kill the demon Mura, and which benefits everything animate and inanimate in the 3 worlds. So I shall now relate to you regarding this Ekadashi that occurs during the light part of the month of Margashira. This Ekadashi is famous as Mokshada because it purifies the faithful devotee of all sinful reactions and bestows liberation upon him. The worshipable deity of this all auspicious day is Lord Damodara. With full attention, one should worship him with incense, a ghee lamp, fragrant flowers, and Tulsi Manjaris. O best of saintly kings, please listen as I narrate to you the ancient and auspicious history of this wonderful Ekadasi. Simply by hearing this history, one can attain the merit earned by performing a horse sacrifice. By the influence of this merit, one's forefathers, mothers, sons, and other relatives who have gone to hell can turn around and go to the heavenly kingdom. For this reason alone, O king, you should listen with rapt attention to this narration. There once was a beautiful city named Champaku Nagar, which was decorated with devoted Vaishnavas. There the best of saintly kings, Maharaj Vaikanasa, ruled over his subjects as if they were his very own dear sons and daughters. The Brahmins in the capital city were all experts in 4 kinds of Vedic knowledge. The king, while ruling properly, had a dream one night in which his father was seen to be suffering the pangs of hellish torture in one of the hellish planets ruled over by Yamaraj. The king was overwhelmed with compassion for his father and shed tears. Next morning, Maharaja Vaikanasa described what he had seen in his dream to his council of twice born learned Brahmins. O Brahmanas, the king addressed them. In a dream last night, I saw my father suffering on a hellish planet. He was crying out in anguish, O son, please deliver me from this torment of this hellish condition. Now I have no peace in my mind, and even this beautiful kingdom has become unbearable to me. Not even my horses, elephants, and chariots, and my vast wealth in my treasury that formerly brought so much pleasure gives me no pleasure at all. Everything, O best of the Brahmins, even my own wife and sons, have become a source of unhappiness since I beheld my father suffering the tortures of that hellish condition. So, where can I go and what can I do, O Brahmins, to alleviate this misery? My body is burning with fear and sorrow. Please tell me what kind of charity, what mode of fasting, what austerity of, or what deep meditation and in service upon which deity I may have to perform to deliver my father from that agony and bestow upon liberation upon my forefathers. O best among the Brahmins, what is the use of one's being a powerful son if one's father must suffer on a hellish planet? Truly such a son's life is utterly useless to him and to his forefathers. The twice born Brahmins replied, O king, in the mountainous forest not far from here is the ashram where a great saint Parvata Muni resides. Please go to him, for he is Trikala Jnana. He knows the past, the present, and the future of everything, and can surely help you in your gaining relief from your misery. Upon hearing this advice, the distressed king immediately set out on a journey to the ashram of the famous sage Parvata Muni. The ashram was indeed very big and housed many learned sages, expert in chanting the sacred hymns of the 4 Vedas. Approaching the holy ashram, the king beheld Parvata Muni seated among the assembly of sages, adorned with hundreds of tilaks, like another Brahma or Vyasa. Maharaj Vaikanasa offered his humble obeisance to the Muni, bowing his head and then prostrating his entire body before him. After the king had seated himself among the assembly, Parvata Muni asked him about the welfare of the 7 limbs of his extensive kingdom, his ministers, his treasury, his military forces. The Muni also asked him if his kingdom was free of troubles and whether everyone was peaceful, happy, and satisfied. To these enquiries, the king replied, By your mercy, O glorious and great sage, all 7 limbs of my kingdom are doing very well. Yet there is a problem that has recently arisen, and to solve it I have come to you, O Brahmana, for your expert help and guidance. Then Parvata Muni, the best of all sages, closed his eyes and meditated on the king's past, present, and future. After a few moments, he opened his eyes and said, "Your father is suffering the results of committing a great sin, and I have discovered what it is. In his previous life, he quarreled with his wife and forcibly enjoyed her sexually during her menstrual period. She tried to protest and resist his advances and even yelled out, 'Someone please save me. Please, O husband, do not interpret my monthly period in this way.' Still, he did not stop or leave her alone. 'It is on account of this grievous sin that your father now has fallen into such a hellish condition of suffering.' King Vaikanasa then said, 'O greatest among sages, by what process of fasting or charity may I liberate my dear father from such a condition? Please tell me how I can relieve and remove the burden of his sinful reactions, which are a great obstacle to his progress toward ultimate release.' Parvatamuni replied, 'During the light fortnight of the month of Margashira, there occurs an Ekadasi called Moksha Ashada. If you observe this sacred Ekadasi strictly with a full fast and give directly to your suffering father the merit you thus obtain, he will be freed from his pain and instantly liberated.' Hearing this, Maharaj Vaikanasa profusely thanked the great sage and then returned to his palace to perform his vrata. O Yudhishthira, when the light part of the month of Margashira at last arrived, Maharaja Vaikanasa faithfully waited for the Ekadasi Tithi to arrive. He then perfectly and with full faith observed the Ekadasi fast with his wife, children, and other relatives. He dutifully gave the merit from this fast to his father, and as he made the offering, beautiful flower petals showered down from the devas who peered out from behind the clouds in the sky. The king's father was then praised by the messengers of the demigods and escorted to the celestial region. As he passed his son, as he transfers the lower to middle to higher planets, the father said to the king, 'My dear son, all auspiciousness unto you.' At last he reached the heavenly realm, from where he can again with his newly acquired merit perform devotional service to Krishna or Vishnu, and in due course return back to home, back to Godhood. O son of Pandu, whosoever strictly observes the sacred Moksha Ekadasi following the established rules and regulations achieves full and perfect liberation after death. There is no better fasting day than this Ekadashi of the light fortnight of the month or Margashira, O Yudhishthira, for it is a crystal clear and sinless day. Whoever faithfully observes this Ekadasi fast, which is like Chintamani, a gem that yields all desires, obtains special merit that is very hard to calculate. For this day can elevate one from hellish life to the heavenly planets. And for one who observes Ekadashi for his own spiritual benefit, this elevates one to go back to Godhead, never to return to this material world. Thus end the narration of the glorious of Margashira Shukla Ekadashi or Moksha Ekadasi from the Brahmanada Purana.